just going to give you a little update here, seeing how it's been a week or so. We've been slacking our fucking asses off and haven't kept you guys up to date, have we? So we got to show you what the hell's going on here at Old Time Garage. So, I will show you now that everyone's gone home and I'm out here at 8 o'clock at night fucking around. I will show you what's going on. Let's take a look. So, Graham's little 29 Dodge is sitting over here. Steve ended up finishing off all the welding, and we blasted it just ourselves here. We did the blasting and we threw a little etch primer on there. If you can see, it's kind of got that greeny color. So there's not much to show you there. The welding's all done. It's off the frame now. That's what's going on there. Now Bruce, the body man, the newest body man, has been here for a while. He started working on this piece here, which you see. This goes back and covers up the gas tank that hangs off the back of this car. So he's got that all ready. And he's finished it in 80 grit there, so we're going to put a couple good coats of slick sand primer on there. And that's what's happening there. He's also got one of the rear fenders done. Now the doors are done too. They're in primer, but they're down in my basement. And I ain't going to fucking walk down in my basement at 8 o'clock at night to show you the doors because I don't feel like it. That's right. There we go. But there's one fender. He's got this fender all ready to go. Get it all primered. He's working away on the other fender over here. You can see he's got a little bit more light coat of filler there. He's got to sand off here and there, but he's working away on there. Now, as we were saying, to get everything straight, what you do is you skim coat everything. So you can see how you see the metal coming through. We skim coat it, then he goes and knocks it back down, which obviously, there you go. More than half of it is always back on the floor. You knock it down and you get rid of any of your low spots, right, that's going on. So that's what's going on with the 29 Dodge. Now, in the background, you see Doug's 28 Roadster, the Brookville body. You can see we got to widen the fenders by a good 4 inches because they're not wide enough, obviously, for the tires. So that'll be something we'll be doing. Now, he wanted us to mount a 32 Ford gas tank on the back, so we did. And we actually, Steve did this, I should say. I didn't do any of this. This is Steve. He's been plugging away on this. We got the body all kicked up in the back. He's recessed it in here because Doug asked him to for the battery box. We'll come around over here. There's this firewall. There's what ended up going on with the firewall. Remember how this car had far back it had to go? Because Doug wanted to run the motor that, or engine, to make some of you guys happy. He wanted to run the engine with the electric fuel pump and all the serpentine belts, and he had to set it back a lot further than normal. So he lost a little bit of space here in the back. He probably lost, believe it or not, I would say a good 3 inches. Well, actually more than that. Normally, if you look right here, this is where the firewall is normally recessed for small block and big block Chevys. When people buy these cars, they say, hey, recess it. And that's where you get it from, how they make it for you. You can see how much more we had to come back. But it's going to work. He's happy. It's what he wants, not all that matters. Now, some people were asking about the distributor. Well, this is Steve's little plan. Here we go. Now, this isn't finished yet, but it comes off. There's your access to your distributor right there. You got access from the inside, which is plenty of room. You got a lid over top so you can pull it out. Don't forget, you got your cowl all up in here, so you're not going to see it. So he made this little piece, see, and he's put a lip on it. See the lip there? And that kind of goes, if I can film this at the same time, folds under, attaches, and there you go. Now he's made his brace up in here. The reason the brace is so big is Doug wants to put a fuse panel up in here and a couple other things he wants to mount and hide up underneath the cowl. So he wanted something good up underneath here. So you can see we're just mocking up his column in there. And yes, he's got one of those fancy chrome columns. He's got all the fancy stuff. So that's what's going on there. Now obviously we've got the hole cut out for the shifter. We've got the hole for the e-brake here. You can see just over there where my finger is pointing. That's where the brake pedal is going to come through. So actually, regardless of how the engine is sitting in this car, it is coming along beautiful. I'll give you a little view here what it's going to look like from the front, if I can pull this back. So you can see how far back in there that distributor is. But he's got access from inside the car. He's actually going to make a little firewall piece under there that's going to be on Velcro. So if he ever needs to get in there, he just pulls it off on Velcro and there's his door. He gets to everything. So, his column's coming out nice. I did the steering on it. So what I've done here, you probably can't see, but you can see there's the steering coming down, and I've got it so it runs nicely along the frame rail, tucks up underneath inside of this engine mount, and hooks right onto the rack, no problem. Got a nice hole drilled in here. This is where a steady bearing's going to come through, because when you're running, when you guys are running, get this turned around. When you guys are doing anything with universal joints on steering, and I'm sure you guys that know what I'm talking about, know what I mean by like the steering knuckles or whatever, if you got more than 2 of them, you got to run a steady bearing. And so I'll show you real quick here. Where is it? Fuck, maybe it's over here. Let's go take a look. Go in the office here. Here we go, sitting right on the floor. Here's the steady bearing right here. So you bolt it through something good and solid, kind of holds everything in place. Because we got one knuckle at the steering column, and it comes down with a rod to another knuckle to a rod to this knuckle that's going to go onto his rack and pinion. If you guys understand what I'm saying, I'm sure you do. There's all his other goodies right there. So that's what's going on there with those two. Now let's get over here. Whoops. Now if you remember, we had that little 80 VW Rabbit truck. Dr. Dave's been plugging away on this. This is in final primer. He's blocking it right now. He's blocking her out, making it look nice. It's kind of hard to film in this room, but that's what's happening with the little Rabbit. So there's what's going on with that one. Hard to see. Can't really show you much. But it is getting blocked out. It's getting ready to go for paint pretty damn soon. Sometime maybe the end of next week. And then we still got a bit more to do. The guy wants me to remove the tires off the rims, have the rims blasted, powder coat them. I got to do some undercoating underneath before it leaves. We're going to put all new rubber seals in it around the front and back windows. Just a few odds and ends here and there he wants to get done. So that's what's happening right there. So now we will head outside. We'll head outside and we'll take a look. Okay, so the Olsey is still sitting over here. I haven't touched it yet, sitting right next to my 48 Plymouth. And of course, there's my 58 Ford. Let's take a look over there. There she is. She's sitting right there. I've been plugging away a little bit on that, but I'll do a video on that separate from this one. And of course, Black Betty's sitting there waiting to be insured, but well, we'll see how that goes. So many cars to insure in the summertime. I think I got like 5 of them insured at once. Okay, 36 Ford we're going to be getting back onto here pretty damn quick now. The Oldsmobile Cutlass. As you can see, we you remember we did the roof and the dent on all that. The roof had a big dent. I think I showed you that on one of the videos where the hood had flown up. Anyway, we got it in here. Chris is dealing with some of the wiring issues on it right now. The power windows weren't working and all that. So he's plugging away and he's working on the power windows, getting stuff working right there. So busy, busy, busy. Let's get over here now. Now, let me get some lights on. You guys all remember the Camaro I was working on. Well, we got behind here. We're slacking our asses off and we got behind. We didn't get some videos of what went on. But I did finish up inside the back end. You guys remember, it was all rotten up in here. I got it all finished. And if you remember, I was telling you, you can buy the back half of the frame. Remember, these are unibody. You can buy the back half and it goes right on to there. Then it stops. Well, you can't buy the front half. So I ended up making the front half myself. There it all is. I don't know if you can see that, but it's all made. It's in there. And I mean, I don't know, it ain't going nowhere. Now, I actually got in here and I measured this one. They make that shit out of 16 gauge metal. And of course, you know, it's bent, it's boxed, it's everything. So that's pretty damn solid. But of course, being the guy that I am, you know how I am, I went overkill. Not too much, but I made mine out of 14 gauge. So I did it just like they did. This is like, you know, I took a template, made it, away we went, there we go. Now you're probably saying, Rick, how'd you make that? I made one side, flipped it over, I cut 2 pieces, then I just made this piece, bent it, and I welded it on the outside, then I welded it completely on the inside. There we go, it's all done. So it is 3 pieces that are all now tied together as one piece. Made it off the car, put it on, fits on good, and like I say, it's not going nowhere. So that's what's happening there. I've started cutting the floor out on the driver's side. The floor braces were good. So I got in here, cleaned them up really good. Put a good, what do you call it? A rust treatment on them. Then what I did is after the rust treatment dried up, I went ahead and I did my texture spray. And then on here, I didn't texture spray. Again, this is our weld through primer. Because when I go to put the new floor pan on, you drill holes in the floor pan and it spot welds along here. Right? So we'll come around the other side and you'll see the floor. I've already got the floor in on the passenger side. Let's take a look here. Yes, I've been plugging away and everybody said you couldn't fix this car. There we go, look at that. Now you see what I mean? I've spot welded it all the way across. There's the one there. There's the second floor brace here. Butt welded it. Everything is butt welded. Nothing is overlapped. You go underneath the car. All the welds are ground down, nice and clean. Looks good. It comes down here, the floor. It's got a lip that actually goes straight down in here and presses up against this piece. And you go underneath and you butt weld it too. So that's it. There's the new floor pan front, right to back. And of course they stop here. They don't get into the back section. That's why we had to do all this repair ourselves and buy all and make all this. Not buy it, make it. If you remember, I made all that. So that's all good. This is all 18 gauge I made it out of, if you're wondering. The only place I went overboard was like, oh, there goes the door handle. Was like I told you before, when I ended up doing inside the trunk here, this was 18 gauge. So I ended up putting 16 gauge in, just for the fact that the frame rails hooked to that. So I went a little overboard there. So, like I say, we're still cutting some of this out. But that is what is going on. So we'll get a better view from this side. There it is. And of course our big old truck, this old dually cab, is still sitting here. A guy came the other day, he wants to bring in a dually. He got a 74, not a dually, sorry, a crew cab. He's got a 74 crew cab Ford he wants to bring in. And of course 74 is my cutoff year. Even though there is an 80 Camaro here and there is an 80 VW, 74 is my cutoff year. I don't want anything newer than that. That's that. So if any people are out there watching and they're like, hey, I want to get hold of Rick to work on my 1980 or something. The only reason I did these ones was, well, these guys are kind of, they're guys I know through people, so you know what I mean? So sometimes you bend the rules a little bit. We always bend the rules a little bit here and there. But that's what's going on. So, remember, it's always a good time at old time. We'll get a video up on my 58 pretty damn quick, and thanks a lot for watching, and sorry it took us so long to get you an update. I will get my ass on this shit and get it organized. Okay, guys, see you later.